All right, so we are on to our final transformation, which is dilations. Notice the spelling of it. It's dilations. It's not dilations. Commonly misspelled word in geometry, so dilations. Our goal, I can dilate figures in the coordinate plane and write their locations. Go ahead and pre-rate yourself on how you feel about how to dilate a figure. Okay, so a dilation is when a shape is stretched or compressed by a scale factor. So when we're saying this, like a figure might get 2 times bigger or 3 times bigger or half as big, 3 times smaller, right? That means that the whole figure's scale factor is changing. So the pre-image and the image should be scale models of one another. All parts of the original image should be proportional to the new image. So if I drew a circle right here and I wanted to do a dilation of it, I would make another circle, okay? So here is it getting dilated. This is being dilated, and it can get smaller and still mean it's being dilated, okay? What can't happen is that I can say, here I want to dilate that circle there. That's not a circle anymore, okay? So make sure you realize that it's not changing shape, it's just changing size. So here's the dilation rules. If you have a point x comma y, if you dilate that point centered at the origin, so from the center with the scale factor of k, all you have to do is multiply the x and y value by that scale factor. All right, so using what I just said a minute ago, write down yes or no for each one of these. Determine whether each transformation appears to be a dilation. Go ahead and do that on your own. All right, you should have no for this one. If you look, these all 4 are the same here, but these are way longer than these. So these 2 are the same, but these 2 got way bigger. This appears to be a dilation, was a right triangle, just a bigger right triangle. This does not appear to be a dilation. This was an angle that looks 90 degrees or obtuse, and now it's acute here. So no. And then I would say yes, this appears to be a dilation also. Okay? Now this one got smaller, this one got bigger, but they're still dilations. Okay, this says draw the image of the triangle with vertices at -2, 1, -1, -2, oops, and 2, 0. So this is P, Q, R. Connect your points to form your triangle. So the first thing it says to do is draw the triangle. Done. Now you want to also draw the dilation with a scale factor of 2 centered at the origin. Graph the pre-image. Done. We need to graph the image still, and we need to get the new labeled points. I'm going to get the new labeled points first. So if I want a scale factor of 2, it's 2 times as big. Times as big. So you're going to multiply all of your x and y values by 2. P prime becomes -4, 2. Q prime becomes -2, -4. R prime becomes 4, and then doubling 0, still 0. Okay, graph this. -4, 2, that's P prime. -2, -4, that's my Q prime. And then 4, 0 is my R prime. So if you look before I connect these, because I'm going to erase what I'm about to do, if I connect P to P prime, it will connect to the origin also still. R to R prime, origin, Q to Q prime, origin. So notice it's expanding from the origin. All right, go ahead and connect your points. And there's your dilation. All right, next one. Draw the image of the triangle with the vertices of 0, 4. That's P. -2, -2. That's Q. And R is at 4, -2. Connect your points to form your triangle. All right, this scale factor is 1/2. So I am going to multiply all my x and y values by 1/2. Remember, multiplying by a half is the same thing as taking a half or dividing by 2. So half of 0 is still 0, half of 4 is 2. Q. Half of negative 2 is negative 1. Half of 4 is 2, half of negative 2 is negative 1. So there's my new points, 0, 2, P prime. Negative 1, Q prime. 2, negative 1, R prime. Connect those points, and there is your dilation. Okay? Once again, if you wanted to double check, connect the origin to those 2 points, connect the origin to these 2, origin to these 2. If anything's off, it's because it's wrong. Okay, so next, what I just need to mention is that sometimes it'll say, like, multiply by a scale factor of negative 2. So if I had the point 32, realize if I multiplied each of those by negative 2, it'd be negative 6, negative 4, right? So not only did it double, but it became opposite of what it was. So remember, when something becomes opposite of what it was, it's a 180-degree rotation. So not only will it get bigger or smaller, it will rotate 100 degrees. That's if you multiply it by a negative scale factor. So let's just try one. Draw the image, 0, 0, 4, 0, sorry, the pre-image, 2, negative 2, and negative 2, negative 2. That was R, S, T, U. Go ahead and connect those points to form that parallelogram. Apply your scale factor, R prime. All right, so I'm taking half and then the opposite, okay? Or dividing by 2 and taking the opposite. That's still going to be 0, 0, S. Half of 4 is 2, the opposite's negative 2, 0. T prime. Half of 2 is 1, the opposite's negative 1. Half of negative 2 is negative 1, the opposite's positive 1. And then U prime, half of negative 2 is negative 1, the opposite's 1. 0, 0, that's R prime. Negative 2, 0, that's S prime. Negative 1, 1, that's T prime. And 1, 1, that's U prime. So connect those points to form your new parallelogram. Notice it got smaller because it's half as big, but also it rotated. If you look here in the red figure, T was in the lower right-hand corner, and now it's in the upper left-hand corner. So you can see that it has rotated 180 degrees. Okay, the rest of this is mixed practice. It says for all problems, write the location of the final image. So make sure in this blank space right here, you have your final image points written down. Okay, so this starting with triangle ABC, and you can start by graphing those points. Be careful because I will tell you right now, I make mistakes all the time, and your figure looks different than it's supposed to. You can tell when you're doing something wrong, but not when you're drawing your original. If you make a mistake when you're drawing the original figure, you're probably not going to catch it. So just be extra careful when you're drawing your pre-image. All right, I'm going to double check just to make sure I'm fine here. This is negative 7, 2, that's right. This is negative 1, 7, that's right. And that's negative 1, positive 1. Good. Okay. This one says reflect ABC over the x-axis. So I'll start with that. But notice it also says translate it. So I'm going to have 3 triangles drawn when all is said and done. Okay, so let's start with the first one here. So reflect over the x-axis. So I'm going to put a dashed line on the x-axis so my eyes are drawn to it. And now I'm going to reflect each of my points over it. A is 2 above, so A prime will be 2 below. B is 7 above, so B prime will be 7 below. And C is 1 above, so C prime is 1 below. Remember, this is your transitional image. This is not your image, or what I like to call the final image. So it's going to be dashed lines. Now let's get our final image. So our final image, what I need to do is translate along the vector 3, 4. So I'm going to move this. Remember, this is right 3, up 4. So all of my points I'll start with A prime. Remember, you're not even looking at the orange one anymore. You're going right 3, up 4. So right 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. That's A double prime. Right 3, 1, 2, 3, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B double prime. If you're doing what I'm doing by helping you count, just erase it when you're done. You don't want to add extra points. Finally, C, right 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4. C double prime. Connect your points, and then remember it says state the location of your image's points. Or my image is the double primes. So A double prime is at -4, 2. B double prime is at 2, -3. And C double prime is at 2, 5. Okay. All right. So, did I make a mistake? I don't think so. I read that. 2, 5. 2, 5. That seems really long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Way too long. So something I counted wrong. Up 3 over 4. See, I'm checking my work. Oh, C is not in the right spot. It's not right 3, up 4. It's up way too many. So I'm going to delete C prime and these lines right here. Wow. There we go. And I'm going to fix it. All right. So from C, I was supposed to go right 3, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks much better. So C is supposed to be at 2, 3. See how you can catch your mistakes? And I'm not doing it on purpose. I could pretend like I am and say, I was checking to see if anyone could catch my mistake. No, I just made a mistake. But you should be able to catch your own mistakes. Okay, next one. Rotate triangle KLM 180 degrees about the origin. Remember, I use rules for this. XY becomes, for 180 degrees, is -x, -y. So I'm going to continue to use my rules. In order to use my rule, I need to know where my points are. So I'm going to write down where K, L, and M are. All right, K is over 1, down 4. So 1, -4. L is over 8, down 6. And M is over 4, down 1. All right, so now I'm going to say what my new points are. K prime, L prime, and M prime. Remember, opposite of the X values and the Y values. So K is now going to be at -1, +4. L, -8, +6. And M, -4, +1. All right, graph it. -1, 4. -8, 6. And -4, 1. So this was K prime, L prime, M prime. Connect those. Oops, dashed because it's my transition. So if you ever accidentally make it, connected, you can easily erase it on the iPad, which is great. Okay, so I still need to finish this because it's not done. It says then reflect across the y-axis. So now I have to find the y-axis, put a dashed line there. And now I want to reflect all of these points over the y-axis. So I'm going to start with K. K is 1 to the left. Now it's 1 to the right. M is 4 to the left. Now it's 4 to the right. And L is 8 to the left. So now I'm going to go 8 to the right. Connect those points. And now I'm going to write the new location of those points. K double prime is at 1, 4. L double prime is at 8, 6. And M double prime is at 4, 1. Okay. Next one, reflect JKL across the x-axis, then rotate. So I'm going to start with my x-axis reflection. So here's my x-axis. All right, let's start by reflecting all of the points over the x-axis. So K is 2 below. I'm going to go 2 above for K prime. L is 2 below. I'm going to go 2 above for L prime. And J is 6 above. I'm going to go 6 below for J prime. Dashed lines to connect them. Now let's move on to what it tells me to do next. Next it says rotate 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. So I use rules. If you don't use rules, if you're like, I do it more of visual, then do it. I'm going to write down my rule. It's x comma y becomes clockwise is y negative x. Okay, so now I need to know what these points are. I need to know what J prime, K prime, and L prime are. I forgot my prime there. All right, so let's write down what J prime, K prime, and L prime are so that I can perform my rule. So J prime is at 3, negative 6. K prime's at 1, 2. And L prime is at 6, 2. So now I can get my image. J double prime. So remember, I'm going to write down what y is. That's negative 6. Take the opposite of x, negative 3. K prime, write down what y is, 2. Take the opposite of x, negative 1. L prime, double prime. Write down what y is, 2. Take the opposite of x, negative 6. This is my image's points, so I'm going to box it. And I'm also going to graph it. Negative 6, negative 3. J double prime. 2, negative 1. K double prime. 2, negative 6. L double prime. Notice I wait to label always because, and it's wrong. So what did I do wrong? Notice I catch myself. I'm really not even that mad at myself. I'm going to be completely honest. So let's look. What looks weird? Let's see if I graphed wrong first. Negative 6, negative 3. That's right. 2, negative 1. That's not 2, negative 1. 2, negative 6. That's not 2, negative 6. See, you can find your mistakes. 2, negative 1. 2, negative 6. That is K prime, double prime, and that's L double prime. But like I was saying before, notice I wait to connect my points to label my points until I know where the triangle falls, because I just don't like writing my points on the inside of my figure. Okay. Next one, reflect the triangle across x equals 2, and then the image across the line y equals 3. So let's start with x equals 2. Vux, vertical line for x equals. So x equals 2, vertical line. I'm going to flip it over this. All right, n is 3 away, or n is 3 to the right, so I'm going to go 3 to the left. That's n prime. M is 2 to the right, so I'm going to go 2 to the left. That's L prime. And M is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. That's M prime. All right, now it says, then reflect the image across the line y equals 3. So now I need y equals 3. So I'm going to draw in y equals 3, hoi, so horizontal line. All right, M double prime is 1 below, so I'm going to go 1 above. That's M double prime. L is 1 below, I'm going to go 1 above. That's L double prime. And then N is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above. So that is N double prime. So there's my figure there. All right, so I'm going to write down the location of my image. L double prime, M double prime, N double prime. Okay, L double prime is at 0, 4. M double prime is at negative 3, 4. And N double prime is at negative 1, positive 8. Okay, so last but not least, this is perform the transformation on this point. So you're not going from here to here to here. You're going to do each of these to that one point. So you have to be able to do it without graph paper too. So that means you do need to know rules if you didn't memorize them yet. First one says, rotate the point 180 degrees about the origin. So if you know your rule is xy becomes negative xy. So that means A prime is the opposite of negative 2, which is 2, the opposite of 5, which is negative 5. All right, Now it says dilate by a scale factor of -1. You're doing this again to this point. You're not going to keep going from there. All right, scale factor of -1. So A prime would be 2, -5. Same point. Remember, rotating 180 degrees is multiplying by a negative twice. So there we go. Reflect over the y-axis. Okay, so now I need to realize I might need a sketch for this if I can't think about it. -2, 5 would be in this, or this quadrant. It'd be in the second quadrant. So if I reflect over the y-axis, which is this quadrant, it would be in the first quadrant. So it'd be +2, +5. Dilate by a scale factor of 2. So I'm going to double each of those numbers, -4, 10. So it's pretty simple, right? Okay, go ahead and try this one on your own. Reflect over the x-axis. Once again, if you need a sketch, here's the x-axis. The point 4, 7 would be like here. So over the x-axis is down here. So it's still right 4, but it's down 7. This was B prime. Rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise about the origin. Remember, counterclockwise is -yx. So -y is -7, x is 4. Last one, translate along the vector -1, 3. So I'm moving to the left 1, which is 3. I'm moving up 3, which is 10. All right, that's it for today. So I want you to re-rate yourself on how you feel about dilations in general.